So guys, as you see, like this is not done by me. Like I had the surprise this morning. I came into my office and then I saw this. Like my wife prepared a small surprise for me. So like this made even more special. So today is launch day. I've been waiting for that day for so long. I'm going to finally reveal you like the secrets behind the deck, how you can get the deck and everything that's linked to it. So I'm really excited. I hope I saw some people in the chat that were as excited as I am, and we are going to quickly start this journey together. All right. So, so of course, like the workshop deck, this is the catch line of the workshop deck is like designing better workshop in less time, and this is the launch event. But first, I want to address the elephant in the room. Because as you many of you know, I promised like a big gift for everyone joining live, and so far we are more than 120 people here. So it's right. Each one of you is going to get a free gift worth 299 euro. I will reveal at the end of the live what is the gift about, but you really deserve it. So thanks for sharing this moment with me, and I'm really excited. Something else, I mentioned that we will do that there was a small competition to win a couple of prizes for free. So what I suggest is that I will reveal the winner tonight. So feel free to check LinkedIn if you've been tagged. It means that you're the winner. And obviously I will like follow the rules and see who commented so that you can also get your deck and this time for free. But there is more than just a deck, and we will discover today what you can win. All right. So I would like to start with one question. Don't worry, Preeti. I'm sure, like I know myself, there will be other small competitions so that you can still win it. All right. How much time do you spend designing a workshop? That is a question I want to ask you. So just like put in the chat the answer. Is it A, less than half a day? B, around 1 day? C, more than 1 day? Okay. So I see like people, it's more than 1 day. Okay. All right. Like I was like, am I should I put like 3, 5 days? And I was like, no, I will not go there. Okay, so more than 1 day. Cool. Cool to know. All right. So take the time to answer this. This is also like this will be a workshop survey I will use based on a survey I've run asking 126 people. Okay, cool. So I'm asking you this question because yeah, I need to go back to my slide, which is so that's the risk you have when you do too many animation. So imagine like you're spending a day and even more apparently today designing workshop and then you run it and nothing happened in the room. Like participants are not engaging, they are not understanding what you're asking from them, and you don't hit the workshop goals at the end. Right? This is the worst scenario that can happen, right? Not only because you will have wasted your time and designing and preparing something that is not useful, but also because you will have missed the chance of like having a customer that can become one of your long-term partner. Because that's the magic of workshop, and you know that because I know we have many facilitators in the room. Once clients taste the workshops, they get addicted, and they become your next like customer for life. And so today, if I look at the customers I have, I think 75% of them are clients that already been working with me for the last 2 years. So that's definitely the type of situation that we want. So my goal for this session today is to share everything I've learned about workshop design so that you can avoid this situation. Okay? Because this situation can, of course, cause you like frustrations and about the time, but as I said, you're losing maybe potential long-term clients. Then of course, I'm not gonna lie because the event is a launch event, right? So obviously, obviously, I want that at the end of the day, like every one of you has a workshop deck in their office, in their bag, so that you can play with the card designing better sessions. But before that, my goal with this session is to give you as many value as I can with the time that I have. And then let's see about the second part, which is you getting a deck. And today, and it's also like my mission is to make the workplace a better place to work. I know it may sound cliche, but it really is. So that's why I've been sharing so many free content for the last years. Guys, I'm sorry for the mess with the animation. But basically, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I post on LinkedIn. I've been posting on LinkedIn for 3 years. I have like my newsletter where I share like case studies, workshop tips. We have a community with Fit for Facilitation. We've been running a couple of sessions that are totally free. There are almost no pitching because we want to give and share tips so that you can level up your game and all together because we are, as I said, many facilitators in the room, we can make the workplace a better place to work. Okay? So give me a thumbs up if it's also your mission, if it's also something that you want to contribute to. Ooh. All right. So maybe some people don't know me in the room, of course, who is Mehdi. So I'm a workshop facilitator. I've been doing that for the last 5 years. I'm also running a design studio internally in a consultancy company. So I have a team of like 15 designers with different type of background, and we've been integrating workshop in the way we work for a long time. And I also have a podcast, as I mentioned, called Another Day, Another Workshop. And some amazing people have been guests, like Team that is in the room and other people. So you want to check that out if you want other great tips to develop your game. Basically, 5 years ago, run my first design sprint, and it changed my life. I enjoyed it so much. The client enjoyed it. I finally saw the client implementing things that we were advising because as I said, I'm a consultant, so advising has been like what I've been doing for the last 10 years. But it's always tricky to see clients doing the things that they said they will do and that they paid you to advise them on. But when I ran my first workshop, I've seen that magic happen, and I was like, oh, I just want to do that. It's super effective, it's productive, and on top of that, it's fun. So I just want to do workshops. So after that, I fell in love with workshops. I've experimenting a lot, and I've been trying and trying and trying. And I was trying to do that as soon as I can so that I can really develop my game in a short time. But what I thought back then is that to be a great facilitator, I needed to know every activity and every workshop recipe. I was convinced about that. Like, there's the design sprint, there's the lighting decision jam, there's the strategizer books. I need to know all those exercises so that if I know all of that, I will have a huge toolkit and I will be super effective. Obviously, I was wrong. It's not what is super important, but I used to believe that. And in that quest of like finding all the best exercises possible, I've run my one of my first strategy workshops. It was with a sales team, and they had a problem with a certain service that we were proposing, and the client didn't understand the value proposition of the service. So what I did, like many of you, looked for inspiration and went on the Mirrorverse. I went on Session Lab. I went on Google, reading some articles in Medium. Back then it was a thing, and then I found like, oh, the value proposition can have strategizer. It's a no-brainer. Everyone in the community I was part of in the time told me like, this is what you need to run. I had 2 hours remote setup in the beginning of remote, so it was a disaster because it's complex. I didn't have enough time. So the salespeople are a tricky type of population in terms of like engagement and also based on their agenda because they need to deliver. They're constantly under pressure. So it didn't hit. It was a painful moment. I've learned a lot. And the trap I fell in is like, this looks so cool. This is so smart. I was watching those YouTube content, like the customer job, and then you understand the gains, and then like what are the pains, and then you're trying to make the link. I was like, oh, it's so smart. It's a genius way to do it. But then it didn't hit. Why? Like I'm sure like you know this, but it's because this was too complex. I only had 2 hours. So we fell often into that trap, like sophisticated is better, but then it's not the case. And that's what I've one of my main lessons when it comes to workshop design. So as I said, they probably won't believe in workshops anymore. I've lost them. Thank God it was only an internal people, so it was not potential client. And this is why I experimented a lot internally, so that I did like most of my mistakes with like colleagues or colleagues of colleagues. But then we cannot afford things like that. As I said, we need those clients to become our clients, and reputation already have a bad reputation. Workshops already have a bad reputation. So you won't have many chances to convince clients about the value of workshops. So the first time you run a workshop with a client, you need to hit, you need to make an impact, you need to achieve a goal. And that is super important because this will be beneficial to you if you are an internal facilitator because you will have more opportunities to do others. And then another thing is that if you're running a business, but obviously you will have a returning clients, a client that can advise you, and word of mouth is still like a powerful thing. 5 years from that moment, I've run hundreds of workshops for many, many different teams. And what you need to know about me is that I'm not niching. So I do strategy workshop, I do problem solving workshops, I do design thinking workshops because I like variety. And this is also what I love in the job is like I come in the room, there's another problem each time, a different way to handle it. So I love that. And I keep like, and this is what I want to keep doing. And after experimenting a lot, like always trying to, I took actually this from stand up. Is like in stand up, it's not interesting to always do the same gigs. You always want to test something and to see how you can improve. So each one of my session, I was always trying to test something. And after so many experimentation, like I finally found what is working for me. And the good thing is that it's not only working for me because it's also worked on my own team. So I've trained my team on what I've learned and we've been practicing. And obviously, I don't want to have the spotlight every time. So each time I was giving the spotlight to someone else, I was taking the co-facilitator, seeing how they would facilitate the session, but also how they would design it. And then, obviously, because we are a consultancy and we love we love making money, then we're like, oh, we can train other people on that too. So I've run hundreds of like a lot of trainings, a lot of different trainings, but I've trained hundreds of people in facilitation with the same toolkits, the same things, because I wanted, of course, to share what I've learned. And again, my mission like is to make the workplace a better place to work. So if I can make my employer happy and contribute to my own mission, that's perfect. But you know, when I'm because I told you I have this corporate setup, is that I only have 1 or 2 days of training. So the decision I took is that I'm not going to teach anything about activities, about the exercises that you need to try or run to get results, because I believe, and this is what I've learned, this is not the most important thing. I think being able to connect deeper with the challenge, to have the right facilitation skills, to animate a group, to manage energy, to be able to explain things like clearly, those things are really, really important. But, and there is a but, I always kept hearing the same question. And there are 4 of them that I want to share with you. I don't know where to start when I design a workshop. I don't know if my flow makes sense. I don't know which activity to use. And I don't know if they will actually work. So let me know in the chat if it resonates with you, like give me a thumbs up, like if you can like relate to those questions. Yeah, exactly, right? So today my session is all about that. Like I said, like I could teach you many things about workshop design, and I know many of you are knowledgeable on this topic. But I believe if we focus on those 4 questions, we can cover a lot. And I'm not the only one who wants to share those answers with you. There is also the workshop guy who wants to share his expertise. Okay? It was supposed to be here and talk, but it was a technical challenge for me, so it didn't happen. But at least you can see his face. All right. So why do I believe that those four questions are interesting to cover? So as I said, like I found the toolkit that works for me, like the recipe to a workshop success, at least in the design part. So if we look at that, there is four main components of a great workshops. The first one is the framework. You want the right framework, so the methodology that is going to help you align a workshop that makes sense, that is balanced, and that is going to deliver. Then obviously you want the right activities to get the outcome, because this is the only way to achieve the goal. Then you want the workshop principles to be there. So the workshop principles are the rules that you're going to establish in your workshops. So usually those are going to maximize the outcome that you can have based on the framework and the activities. And then obviously the component that I believe is the most important is the workshop experience. So if we look at the four questions that we're going to cover together today, it's basically focusing on the framework and the activities. So obviously, as I said, like workshop principles are important, they are easy to understand the logic and implement in those sessions. So I'm sure you can like find the answer somewhere. And I'm happy also to share resources and do other sessions on those things. And then the experience is like, I believe, as I said, the most important, but it's only working if you have the foundation that is right. So meaning the right framework and the right activities. When you have that, like you put workshop experience on how you're going to package the entire thing, and boom, you're going to hit and make a big impact at your client. Okay. So if we take back the four questions, I don't know where to start when I design a workshop, and I don't know if my flow makes sense. Those answers can be, they will be covered with the framework. Then we have the activities, and we will cover those two other questions. I don't know which activity to use, and I don't know if they will actually work. Okay. All right, let's go with the 60 framework. I'm sure many of you already know it, but it's basically like AG and Smart came up, I think, in 2020 with the Workshopper playbook. It's called the 4 Cs. And it's basically collect, choose, create, and commit. Like, let me know in the chat if you know this one. And basically, in the community, we improved the framework. Like, many people did that. And we achieved, like, we came up with two important steps. The first one, that is about connection, and the last one, that is about celebration. I will come back to that. But let's start with the connection part. And I think this is important because I don't know if many of, like, if you saw my draw toast LinkedIn posts, because I got some attraction on this one. And then people were reaching out to me to get access to the activity, right? And oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna run this in my next workshop. So I was interacting with many of you in the chat. And there is this guy who was telling me, like, oh, I have this workshop and I'm gonna try it out. And I will come back to the story so that you understand. But first, I want to ask you a question. So imagine you're running a team retreat, and you have a team that faces different type of collaboration issues. Their roles and responsibility are not clear. There is tension between two middle managers. There is some politics going in. Someone didn't get the promotion that he was supposed to have. And you come in as a facilitator, and your goal is to rebuild trust. I know, quite ambitious, like with the time you will have, clarify the roles, and improve the teamwork. And my question to you is, which activity would you pick? Would you pick my worst job, which is an activity that is fun, and when you're asking people like to share the workshop that they had so far? Or will you take the other one, which is why it matters? And why it matters is an exercise where we're going to invite people to think about two questions. The first one is like, why is it important for me as an individual? So why is it important for Mary? And then why is it important for the team itself? So let's see the magic that Syed is cooking. So put in the chat, which one would you take? I see both. Depends on the time you have, my friend. If you have a whole week with them, like you can make some magic again. Okay, that's awesome. So why it matters. So coming back to my story, like the workshop, like, and I hope you will be okay with that. And I changed a couple of information, but it was the type of workshop it was going to run. And then like he's telling me this, and I was like, but this is not the perfect warm-up for it. And then when he told me, like, I was planning to use draw a duck before. You know, draw a duck, the icebreaker when you ask people just to draw a duck. And then like it clicked, like it kept in my mind because like I've seen this a lot in the space is that we believe that the first part of the workshop, we do an icebreaker because we need to do an icebreaker. Like the connection part is super important for many, many things. But also it needs like a good connection activity, it needs to connect people. It needs to be connected to the workshop topic so that you start like smoothly getting into what is most important and why you're here with people. So even choosing the warm-up, because I hate the word icebreakers, I call this a warm-up. Like tell me in the chat how many of us like hates this word. But basically, like this is also the moment where you need to think about that. Okay, what am I trying to achieve? And how can I use the right connection moment that is going to serve the group, that is going to serve each of the individual? And then obviously it's also serves you, a good connection activity serves you as a facilitator because you can also read the room. Like, I will have this type of people. I need to be careful with that one. Oh, I think I can leverage this guy a lot because he has like knowledge for the topic. So this is very important. Okay. And on top of that, like because I'm a nerd in the soul, there has been a study from Harvard Business School that when you run a warm-up activity, even if it's not connected to the workshop topic, so even if you have picked A, it's still okay. It's still help the group perform better in terms of productivity, but also in terms of creativity. So they've run many tests, and when there was no warm-up, the group was less productive and less creative. Okay? All right. Let's move on with the second C, which is the collect phase. So the collect phase is the moment where you're going to really set up the foundation of your workshop. So what are we trying to achieve? What is the scope? So obviously, when you go into the workshop, you already have an idea, but you want to understand that better. You want people to process the information, to understand it, to align on what is important. All those things will happen in the collect phase. So it almost serves as the foundation of your workshop. Okay? So I cannot go into the detail of each of the C like I did for the connection, because otherwise this won't last 90 minutes, but this won't last like a couple of hours. But I hope you get the point. Otherwise, I will stay until whatever it takes to answer all your questions. So actually, there is no end to this webinar for the brave soul here. For those who want to have a life and enjoy lunch or have a good evening, like you will be free to go afterwards. Okay. Then we have the third C. We see choose. All right. So you cannot fight all the battles in the same time. You need to choose, right? So it's really important that you're gonna, based on what we gather, based on the information, the data, the challenges, what we are trying to achieve, which one is the most important to solve in your session. Okay. And this is really important. So an example I love to take is like, imagine you're working on the recruitment process and it's going bad, right? It's like it's not working, it's not delivering, we cannot hire people, we cannot screen the right people, we can have people that are not signing our deal. There are so many different ways to improve the recruitment process. So in the collect phase, you're going to understand better what are the root causes of the performance of the recruitment process. But then in the choose, you want to choose the most critical part of the problem. Of course, if you have more time, you can choose more, but at least like trying to see where is the focus. So those two cards together, like the collect and the choose, are setting really the foundation of your workshop. And this is where the brain of participants are going to align on things. They're going to exchange, they're going to process information better. It's going to be more clear to them, etc., etc. All right. I will come like I'm sure you can guess what is the next phase. So the next phase is create. And like when you go into a brainstorm that is not working, most of the time you don't do this. And this is why you have very bad idea. It's because you didn't let time people to connect with the topic, exchange about it, share about what are the issues. So it's hard for them to get into this creative flow and like sharing information to be able to come up with the right ideas. So those phases are really important, even if it's just a brainstorming session. Then you want to do it, but of course, in a smaller amount of time dedicated to those moments. If I go back to my slides, we have the create phase. So the create phase is typically the phase that we all love. At least for facilitators, it's always painful for participants, but they need to come up with the ideas that are solving what you're trying to achieve. Okay? Then a good workshop will only be a good workshop if something happens. Okay? So the commit phase. Okay, it's cool to have great ideas. They can be creative, they can be innovative, but what is important is that something happens. You don't want to be the type of facilitators like you go into the room, everyone has fun, and then you go back a year later and nothing happened. Like for me, this is the worst thing that someone can tell me. Like, oh, we had fun, but did you do the thing? No, but we had a great time. Like this hurt me so much. So we want to help people to be ready for what's going to happen, which is like real life, like the shitload of meetings, um, their own priorities, the problems that they need to fix, their own objectives, etc., etc. So this is the moment where like, how can I make it easy for those guys to transform those ideas, those actions into something that they will put into action? They will implement. So this is what the commit phase is about. It's like committing to something tangible that can happen. All right. It's really important that when they leave the room, they know exactly what needs to happen, who should do what, by when, etc., etc. Okay. And the phase that we added in the 60s is the celebration. So celebration is a cool name for the phase, and also like teaching this framework, people never forget the C. They forget the others, but like celebration it stick to their mind. But like I like it so much because of course, like you want to end in a great way so that people remember something from the workshop. But again, they're going to go into real life soon. So it's really important that when they leave the room, they have clarity on what happened because they don't experience the workshop the same way than you do. You design every pieces of those workshops. So you know exactly the first activity was that, and then we did that. For them, they only remember like the painful moment or the moment where they had fun, but they cannot connect the dots and see everything that happened. So in the celebration phase, it's all about like when like what you should tell them is like, remember like when we entered this room, we had no idea on how to get there. Now we like understood like what are the big problems into the recruitment process. We know which one we focus on, that one and that one. We came up with ideas. Some of them are quick wins. They will be delivered by Tim, by Eric, and by Maria within 2 weeks. Like this is what you want people to remember at the end of the workshop. Of course, you still want them to tell like, oh, it was an amazing experience. I had fun with Maddie. But on top of that, like, oh, I have those to-dos. I have this roadmap to implement. I have this thing that is waiting for me. Okay? Like Tim is in this room, but like something he told me in the workshop sticks into my mind. He said, like we do this workshop and then we keep the 15 minutes at the end to commit to something. Right? Like the commit phase should take a big part of your workshop. And the celebration is bring clarity on the commit phase. All right. So let me know in the chat if we covered the two first questions, which is I don't know where to start when I design a workshop, and I don't know if my flow makes sense. And for the part about the flow makes sense, don't worry, we'll come back to it. I cheated a bit. Okay? Are you enjoying what you're hearing so far? We're gonna see the cards into more action. It's gonna be more practical. Okay, thanks for the love, guys. You're amazing. Let's move on to the two other questions, which are actually the question I hear the most. I don't know which activity to use, and I don't know if it will actually work. So how to pick the right activity? So obviously, I'm not gonna spend like the 60 else minutes we have going to each of the cards and telling you which activity you should know, because it will be boring. But what I want you to be able to do is that share like understand the process to pick a good activity so that you're able to do the same by using the resources that you want. And I will try, like if I remember, to send you like the resources I've been using a lot to find activities. So like the classical ones, but there is like others that are less known, like the fun retrospectives or anyway, I will send you the links so that you have access to that. So how to pick the right activity? The first thing that you want to do is that you want to start with the outcome. Then you want to pick simple activities to be able to achieve that outcome. And then you want to validate it to see if it makes sense and if it will actually deliver you what you design and what you hope to get for your client. That's it, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. I'm kidding. All right. So the outcome, the fish. So this time we're not going to cook pizza if there are people, but like we want to catch a fish and we want to think about which fish do we want. So this is the outcome we want to get, right? So you want to start with the outcome, not the activity. So something that is important for you is like when you're having a brief from a client, what are you discussing with the client? It needs to be clear for you, of course, what is the goal of the workshop? What are the expectations? So you need to understand the client perfectly, because if you don't understand him perfectly, it's going to be difficult to put the session together, because then you will need to guess a lot of things, and I've laughed about the side jokes. So that's important. But then it's like, okay, what at the end of the session, if I did a good job, what is the outcome we should have and the group should have? And you're gonna start from there. Like if I know what is the outcome, then I can just reverse engineer the process and be able to come up with the different steps to get there. Okay? Question that you can also ask yourself is that in this session, what is important? Like, do I need clarity on a problem? Do I need alignment? Do we need ideas to get somewhere? Like, do we need decision? Like, those questions can also help you have a better sense of how to get there. Okay? So let's do an example. So imagine, and actually it's based on a real case, I've run a similar workshop in the past. So I was working this new transformation strategy department, and they became like this new transverse team. They were huge, like 150 people, and they really wanted to raise awareness within the company about their role, what is their missions, and their ways to contribute. Why? Because there was another team doing almost the same, so it was not clear. So it was like, we want to be sure that people understand what we do, how we can support, and how we can contribute to their job, because they are a super function. Okay? And the manager expects a communication roadmap by the end of the session. Okay? So my question to you is like, what should be the outcome of this workshop? Tell me in the chat. I know I said like roadmap, but imagine they have this problem with like the mission statement. The mission is not clear, they're not understood. They want to raise awareness. Okay. So I love that you're loving the different tips exchanging in the the thumbs up. Communication roadmap and clarity on where they fit in the organization. Okay, they need a communication roadmap. Come out with new ideas on how to better design and deliver great workshops. Alignment on how they want to design the communication roadmap. Okay. Communicating the purpose of the team. Clarity and alignment. Okay, guys, amazing. So I did a mistake. I was supposed to remove the communication roadmap. And my question was like, what can we get from this? And there would be more type of outcome than just a communication roadmap. But in this case, it was a communication roadmap. So let's move on with that. So if I know that I want to get this communication roadmap at the end of the workshop, how should I reach that outcome? Okay. Again, we're going to reverse engineer the process to get there. So we need impactful content ideas to put on this content roadmap, to have impactful ones, like for the creative people in the room. You know what we need? Oh no, we need more content ideas. And then we need to understand, we need to have understanding of like, what is the mission? Okay, we have it. All right. So to achieve the content roadmap, I think I'm going to write post-it note to myself, stop with animation. Okay, so we have the content roadmap with a clear ownership. That's what we want to achieve. So if we go a step back, we need impactful content IDs. Cool. To have impactful content IDs, we need content IDs first, so that we put no pressure, like people like are just sharing, and then we can like prioritize to see which one are goals. And then we need a clear understanding of the ambition and the purpose. Like why is it a problem? Why do we need to share about our mission? Why people need to understand about why we exist and what we do. All right. So now, if I need to design a workshop, is it not easier? Like, tell me in the chat, like when you know, like when you reverse engineer and you see like the different steps together, it gets easier, right? So I can just pick the activities. So when you pick an activity, don't do like me trying something fancy that is shining on a mirrorverse, just waiting to be picked and experimented in bad conditions. No, you want to see like, is it an activity that will allow me to reach the intermediate outcome or the final outcome? Is it easy to explain? Is it easy to understand? Can I explain it fast? Because an activity can only be good if you can explain it effectively. All right. I know it may sound obvious, but like you can have the perfect activity. If you explain it in a very bad way, it's not going to deliver. And the more complex the activity, even if you have super good teaching skills and like explanation skills, like if it's too complex, it's going to be hard for people to understand what you're expecting from them, right? So they're going to be like, you're going to take more time explaining the activity because it's longer, it's more complex. You need to re-explain it a couple of times. You need to repeat so that they understand. Then it will consume more energy from them because they need to understand what you're asking from them. It's very difficult, so they really need to think carefully about the manner, the way to give you the outcome. Like like our job as facilitator is trying to make this as easy as possible, like going from the outcome to the way to getting to the outcome. So always to find the easy path. So when we give them a difficult exercise or difficult activity, it's really hard to for them. You're consuming more energy from them, and you're also taking too much time of the workshop. Most of the time, we don't have enough time in our workshops. So sometimes like let me know in the chat if it happens to you, but like clients are delusional when they take time for a workshop, they believe that they need to reach too many things, so you don't always have the right amount of time to do what you want to do. So you want to optimize that. Okay. Now, if I go back to my metaphor, like we're going to choose the hook to pick the fish. So if I want a certain type of fish, I will pick a certain hook. And I'm just saying that, well, I don't know anything about fishing. So if we have like fishing people in the room, let me know if so far I understood the, the logic of fishing fish. All right, so if I go back to my reverse engineer process, is like, okay, which activity will give me this outcome? So if I want people to understand the ambition and purpose, I can maybe run an expert interview. Again, expert interview, an activity from the design sprint. And there are so many ways to twist it, but it's basically a way that I like to do is like, I'm going to invite the manager of this team to re-explain to his team why are we trying to get to this content roadmap? Why is it super important to share awareness about our mission? Why is it important that people understand what is the difference between those two teams? Why they understand that we are part of the business and that we are there to help? And hearing it from his manager, it's always more impactful. Okay. And what I like with this activity, you're forcing them to take notes with like the how might we technique. So you're forcing them to pay a bit more attention to the setting up of the stage and to the context of the workshop, which is of course on the super important. As we said, it's like the foundation. Again, it's just an example. I wanted to show you the card in action, but they could be something else, and they could be more. Of course, it's not just one. Then, if I need content ideas, I need a simple brainstorm exercise to come up with content ideas. But I said I want impactful one because I want people to have a great content roadmap that will get the goal, which is like having people in the company understand what they do. Then I need to prioritize. So I can like do a simple dot voting exercise to prioritize the IDs. And then because people can like be biased, like this idea is cool, I'm going to put a lot of dots. Then you want something a bit more smart to still see where is the gold and which things are like just shiny object that we should avoid. Then an action board can be a good exercise to do so, which is like an impact effort matrix, and you can see which ideas is worth exploring. All right. And then we have everything we need to facilitate a roadmap activity that will give us the perfect roadmap. Okay. So what are we missing here, guys? So what are we missing? So if we take back the 6C, like, do we have a balanced workshop? We need connected celebration. Yeah. Oh. So sorry, guys. I will come back to that. Missed one slide. Okay. So you pick the perfect activity for the outcome that you want to get. You reverse engineered it. Now you know how to get there. Now what you want to do, it's like a quality check. So before you go into the room, you want to make sure that you really pick the right activity. So you're going to validate it. You're going to validate the activity itself, and then you're going to validate the flow of your workshop to see if like the sequence of activities put together makes sense to achieve the final outcome. And what I'm like, it's very simple. Like the tip I can tell you is like, what is the outcome I will get from an exercise? So what I do when I'm not sure, when I have like a very complex one, I need to project myself, I would just tell them, okay, if I run this activity, what would be written on the sticky notes? What would be shared by the participant? And then I just want a simple example. Like, again, if I take back my example of the recruitment process, we want like, what are the real issues with the recruitment process? I would say like someone could say, oh, the screening is really not performing. People are not accepting our offer. The process is too long. So then, okay, I have this. So it's easier to move on and it makes sense. So I get the goal with the activity and it makes sense to keep that activity. All right. Then if I do that for each of the activities, I still want to make sure that the flow in itself makes sense. So if I move from one activity to another, do I have what I need to build up on that? It's very conceptual so far, but I'm going to share with you the example. This is like, okay, I want to have solution to improve the recruitment process. I have this problem. So what do I need next? Oh, okay, I need to prioritize. Then I have this issue. Then I need to come up with ideas. What would be an idea? Rework on the recruitment process, try a new proposition of packages, negotiate other stuff. Okay, I have an idea. It would make sense. How would it work in a prioritization exercise, etc., etc. Wow. Okay, so if I go back to the slide I wanted to show you earlier with bad animation sequences. Hopefully I don't talk about sequence of animation, but sequence of activities, so I'm good, right? So if I take the first example, expert interview, I try to project myself. What would I have from that? I would have notes from the team who capture the most important challenges presented by the manager of the team. So for example, I was like, how might we help people understand the role of a program manager within the organization? Okay, good. Then I could have, like for the content ideas brainstorm, we could like shoot a small video, which is a day in the life of a program manager. Then, is it really a good idea if I just do a .vogue? I don't know, let's try to see. And then you can do like the impact effort matrix. And like what we see is like, is it a quick win? Is it a project? Is it something we should skip? Or is it something that is just a task, but it's easy to do? Then we should move on with it. And then at the end, what we will have on a roadmap is like all those prioritized content IDs that are placed on the roadmap with the owners of the roadmap of the action. And like the example here is like Mark will lead this video initiative and coordinate the next steps. So you see what I've done here is like I have my final outcome, which is this content roadmap. Reverse engineered it, looked at the activities I could use, and then trying to project myself of like what are the examples, what are the real outcomes I could get in a real workshop setup. And I know it sounds like really when I'm lost, or I'm too much in the flow, it's like, huh, when we're running something very complicated, it's like, what would be the answer to this? And like also life became way easier now with ChatGPT. When I'm stuck, it's like, okay, what could be a problem for that space? And then they give me the list of problems. Oh, I get it. And what is also nice for you guys is that you connect better with the challenge of your client. And because what you know is that you can design the perfect workshop, like most of the time it doesn't go according to plan. But what is important in this preparation phase and design phase is connecting better with the challenge of the client. And because of all that thought process, you've seen all the different doors in front of you. So even if at the end of the day you need to change doors for any reason, because you prepared your brain to do it, it's easier. And because you did the gym so many times, like, oh, I just need to pick that because I know this activity will get me there. Does it make sense? Cool. So, so say one joke after one slide. Okay, this is the requirement I'm expecting from now on. Love the thumbs up, guys. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's move on. So as I said, we had people in the chat who said it like we are missing a couple of activities, right? So if we put the 6E on the table, and this is basically how we put the cards, like we use those category cards, we put them on the table, and if we don't remember because it's the first time we do, like on the other side of the card, you have an explanation of what is this step about, and then it's like, okay, what am I missing? Oh, obviously a connection moment. We talked about the importance of the connection. Oh, maybe like, we didn't choose something based on the collect phase. Then maybe we need to prioritize something. And then, of course, the celebration phase. We're not going just to leave with the roadmap. We want people to have clarity on the roadmap and like a good feeling of what happened. So we need to celebrate. And this is what's going to happen afterwards. You're going to start picking activities to fill in the gaps. Okay? And what you've seen here, like, again, why it matters because like you want people to project and you already knew the activity, so it was an easy choice, and then you want a nice way to finalize. But I think my example was simple, I know, but it's 6 p.m., like 7 p.m. for European. I didn't want to kill you with the too complex ones. But you just see the logic. And obviously you will have more activities per step, and you will see also the limits of the framework. So sometimes you will need to choose a couple of times, but the big choose moment is after the scope. Because again, it's this notion of battles. We cannot fight all the battles. So the big choose activity is after the collect phase. And remember, I said like validate the flow, right? I told you like you need to validate the flow. And this is like the 60 framework is great. It works, but it's just a starting point because I don't want people to be with this blank canvas, like they looking at the white page is like how I put this workshop together. So you just put the 6 E's and then like help you start. But then at the end of the day, it's just a methodology. So it's like, this is why you want to validate the flow. Because sometimes you will change activities. It would not make sense because of the 6 E's, but it would just make sense because of what you're trying to achieve. And I like to see this as like you're creating music. Like, like you have the sequence and note, and then yeah, you're listening to it. It's like, something is wrong. I need to change something. And for me, it's like workshop. This is like, I don't like the melody of this workshop. I don't like the flow of it. And this is where you can change stuff. All right? Cool. So just to summarize, how to pick the right activity. 3 steps. The first one, you start with the outcome. The question that you should ask yourself is, what's the real result customer wants? And again, the spoiler alert here, like please understand your client. Ask him a lot of questions. If you don't understand what he wants, what he wants to achieve, it will be very difficult to put a workshop together. The other day, I was coaching someone in my boot camp, and he was struggling to put the workshop together and asking questions like, what is the goal of the workshop? What are the results clients expect? and he was not able to tell me. Then I was like, man, this is why you're struggling to put the workshop together. And then you start assuming things. Oh, maybe this is what they want, and then maybe this is what they want. But then too many options, limited time, more chances that you will take a bad assumption. So ask question. I know it's like I don't want to bother my clients. You're not bothering him. You're actually helping them, and you're helping yourself to build like a successful business or to be a successful facilitator. And I love the heart because like, let's do this. Let's make the workplace a better place to work. All right. So after that, you want to pick simple activities. Oh, I'm not sharing my slides. But to have seen like, then what you want to do is like you want to pick simple activities. All right, forget sophisticated. There is this great book called the Story Brand Framework. If you want to do some marketing for your business, like I advise you to read this book. It's actually even a workshop, so you can even workshop that. And like Donald Miller is brilliant when it comes to that. It's like simple. Don't try to sound smart. Try to like sound like try to be simple. Use simple words. If we look at Alex Hormozy, why he's been so successful in what he does, it's because he talks the everyday language about something that is quite complicated, which is business. Okay? So can you explain it clearly and fast? Then you want to validate the activity and the flow. And the question you should ask yourself is, all those things together will help my clients, the participants, achieve the final goal and move the group forward. All right? Amazing. So, what did we learn together, or just like, again, not learn, maybe it's not the right word. What did we cover together? We covered the framework to design great workshops, how to fish. Yeah, I guess we will need to make a real session about this because I'm not sure I give you enough tips. Um, Everything in a good workshop is carefully thought through. Even like you spend time on the connection. Even the energizer, like the small thing that you will say in your workshop, is contributing to the outcome that you want to achieve. So in a good workshop, everything is thought through and is put there intentionally. It's a hard word for me to say. I even need to drink some water, but like try to think about those things. Then we saw the 3 steps to pick the right activity. Outcome first, pick the activity, and then you want to validate it. Okay? Was it valuable to you guys, this session so far? Yes, give me some thumbs up. Okay, amazing. Thank you for the love. So now it's the real question. Who wants to learn more about the workshop deck launch offer? Who wants to like have this guy hold these things in his hands? I've been working a lot on digital products for those last years. Like there is something magic when you hold something like in your hands, especially if you made it. So I really hope this will land on your desk or on your bag. But yeah, let's go. So what is the workshop deck? It's basically 52 cards, and in those 52 cards you have 28 activities. Why 20 activities, not more? And this is where hard for me because like I needed to choose. If I give you more options, it's harder for you to choose, right? And one of the questions like, how do I choose an activity? So I don't want you to spend, again, more than a day to pick just the activity. So the less options you have, the easier the choice, the better for you. Okay? Why you have then the ratio of 52 cards is because there is card explaining you how to use the deck, about the workshop principles, because about like couple of tips. You have the break strategies. Um, you have cards in duplicates because if you're designing a 2-day session, I believe you should have a couple of like prioritization activities. Okay. So I didn't want you to just have the activities like if you're really designing it on your desk, which I've seen people doing, it's like it's nice if I don't have this card, so I would write on a sticky note. Okay. Those cards have been existing for 3 years on digital, like, and this is why I've been thinking about it lately and taking the feedback of the early adopters, and this is why we have 52 cards. They are color coded based on the framework. Uh, so I don't have the workshop guide with me, but basically each of the cards are like this. Like you have the stroke telling you like this is a commit activity. You have the name of the activity, the amount of time I advise you to run, but of course depends on the number of people you have in the room, about the goal of the workshop, etc., etc. Then you have a final visual outcome, like how the activity should look like at the end of the exercise. It's of course valid for everything except the connection activities. Then you have an explanation, because as I said, an activity can only be great if it's well explained. So I know we have a couple of folks from AG and Smart in the room, like, like there is this formula of explaining something clearly, like the what, why, how. So basically I created the cards using this formula. In the front of the cards, you have the what and the why. So what is the activity about, why you should run it, and then on the back, you have the how with the different steps. What you also have here is like the workshop principle that is mostly important on that case. So obviously you want to have all the workshop principle into action, but for certain activities, it's more important to focus here on sequence discussion, for example. Okay. Then you have a couple of tips like to run it better, or like to ways of twisting the activity. And why the why is important? Like when you explain the why, when you give your instructions, if you have skeptical people in the mind and stuff like that, it's going to like show them that everything has been thought through. So if you tell them like we are running this activity because blah 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 blah, they will, oh, okay, there is a reason, and then it gives them less, I would say, opportunities to challenge you. I would put it that way. But then let's be honest, it's 90% of like the delivery. If you show confidence, they're not going to challenge you, but like if it happens, the why helps. Okay, so this is what the workshop deck is about. Then, because I told you my mission is to help you design better session in less time, I was limited by the format of the cards, because I wanted the cards to be self-explanatory, and I can tell you like it gave me a headache of like making sure that you can understand them, a lot of testing, because it needs to be clear and needs to be simple and it needs to fit into like these formats of cards. So there are things I couldn't put there. So this is why I created e-learning course where you have all the information you need for each of the activities, my tips and tricks, variation of the activities, how to explain it, but also how it's what are the outcomes you can have from this activity. So there is a fake case that we are using for the entire course, where you can actually understand what you're going to get out of each of the activities, so that you can visualize. Because again, show don't tell. Like another trick, like to explain perfectly your activities, show them an example. Like even write it on a sticky note, show them like what could be an outcome of that. And if it's possible, like try to take an example that is not linked to the session or that is obvious, so that you're not bringing biases or preventing them to connect certain dots. Okay, so every people that is trying to sell your course will tell you like, yeah, there are so many modules and there are so many videos. Like if you really want to know, I think there is 38 videos, but who cares? And also I created this, like even my student in my course, they asked like if we can make a YouTube playlist, so that when they're going to the workshop, they're just like listening to one of the activities that they find tricky to explain, and then like they're in the mood. Okay. So there, and I also cover other things like I'm going into details with the framework. I sharing my tips to ask to have a good meeting with the client to understand like his needs. So you have an entire module on workshop design from I would say theoretical point of view, but like very practical. Also, because I needed to host this course somewhere, I created a community, and it's actually my second one because I'm going to move my previous community to here. There is a new place for my community, and it's going to be where the workshop deck stands, because you can learn so much from people. Like when I look at like I spent like I think 30K in training in facilitation, and like I know some people from workshop or master. I've learned a lot from those days. So you learn a lot from exchanging with others who've done it before, and just having another partner to fight with you and like to exchange ideas. Hopefully, I was also lucky to have a mentor. So all those things helped me so much. that we will create a space where you can like actually exchange with others. There will be coaching sessions every month. There will be some exclusive event, but I don't want to commit, so I didn't put them there. And then also that there is a section where you can see the card interaction so that it gives you ideas on how you can use it. Okay. So I think this is the slide that everyone is waiting for. How much does it cost, right? How much does it cost? But I want to do like one more thing. Because like people like when I tell like my friends I'm working on the workshop deck pro, like man, your cards are done like for a year now. Like, what are you doing? I wanted to go further in trying to make workshop design simple for you. Okay. So I had this crazy idea. I didn't test it. I'm a design thinking guy. I have a team of UX designers, but I didn't test my idea. I came up with the idea and then I tested it afterwards to get feedback, but I was already well advanced. And can you guess it? Like, can you tell me in the chat? Like, I will put stream a live site. I don't know if you can put back the names, the chats. Like, if you can do that, like, tell me, like, what do you think it is? What was the crazy idea of making? Free consulting. That's what I'm doing every day on social media. Free. I've done it free. Uh, giving away the deck. I
Yeah.
will do that, but
While
only.
while people are sharing, maybe you definitely need to give away like one of his giant decks. They stop listening like in the middle. So I want this giant thing, and so think about it.
Yeah, but the thing I've learned with this project, and I'm learning already the hard way before even shipping a lot of them, is like logistic is a nightmare. So I was definitely not ready for this project. So if I need to start shipping those crazy things, it's never going to arrive in the right way also. I also have this format of cards. So maybe I can, yeah, let's see, but no, maybe another ID. Thanks for the mention. All right, let's make it like, let's share the big announcements. I've built an app. No, I've built an app. Okay, you want to see it? This is the moment. If you don't say yes, it's just awkward for me. Okay. All right, let's go. I'm excited to share it with you guys. And there it is. Can you see my screen? Yeah?
But we cannot see you anymore.
Yeah, I was like, this is something I don't like. I don't understand how it's possible. Yeah, okay, got it. You see, say I'm almost a pro on OBS now. Okay, now if I show you the app, this is like you have all the activities, you can add them into your agenda. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. This is the hardest time my ID. This is a lovable. This is not what I want to share with you. I want to share the real app that I've been working on. Which screen it is now? The workshop deck app. All right, let me find the right window. Okay, this is the workshop deck app. Okay, and as you know me, like I like my illustration. Like I wanted to make it a very engaging experience, and this give me headache. This give a headache to the development team, but this also like feels like really like the digital version of the cards. And it started like this. Like I don't want to share boring PDF to people with the cards. So I was like, oh, let's build an app today with AI. It shouldn't be that difficult, right? Because that's what people are telling. It's not true, by the way. I've learned this. But then, of course, I had other ideas. But basically, this is the first idea. Like you can discover the card this way, and you can just select the one you want. And like if I show you this one today, like why it matters. I zoomed in, so that's why it's not full screen properly. But like this is the card, and you can like run it. You can add it to your favorites so that it saves. But like, oh, okay, it's cool maybe, but why should we care? I told you my mission was to make workshop design even easier. So you have the possibility to design an entire workshop with the app, which is plan my workshop. So you go here, you put the name of your workshop, let's say like launch event animation workshop, because I need to know how to put my animation together. Then is it a problem-solving workshop? What type of workshop it is? Let's say problem-solving. How much time do I have? Okay. If I need more, there is a custom phase. There is a custom. Let's say I only have 2 hours. Then you have, okay, it starts at 9. At what time does it start? You can choose that, and then it's automatically calculated. And then the app advises, do you want some buffer so that you cannot put all the activities into the 2 hours you have, but there is a calculation that is done based on the amount of time. Then you start designing workshop. And then you have the first C. So the app is telling you, like, no, you need to think about connection. What is the connection activity that you're going to run? Oh, is it this one? Is it this one? Again, I will take just this one. I want to read the expectations in the room. I will run hopes and fears. And then I'm waiting to go. Then what is the collect activity that I'm going to use? And then I can do the same. And you can also skip it, but I wanted to find a way to force you to think about the 6C. But if you don't want to follow them and just want to go freestyle, or you know that you only need a certain type of activity, you can just skip over all those steps. All right. All right, and then you have the final touches. So where do we put the breaks? The application like calculates the breaks that you need. What type of energizers you can run to make things nice. And then you have your workshop. Okay. Again, this is because I've done that. Oh, okay, just. And then you have your activities. If you want to write notes, you can. And then if you, I don't remember what it is, you can just go back and look at it. As I said, you can like favorite the cards that will be here. And you also have your workshop that have been created in the past. This is a fake workshop. This is me visualizing what I'm going to do with Nike. So Nike, if there's someone from Nike in this room, let's make a workshop to define the strategy for next year. And then you have all your workshop that is planned here. You can export it in PDF so that you can just print it if you need to, or just so that you can put it in your pocket and just read it. And that's it. So this is the workshop deck app. The good thing, and again, it's a beta, guys, we've been testing for weeks, but it's like we're not ready for all the users. So let's see. But I've been testing it with my team, with the people that already have the core. And like, I just want to show you like on my phone. I don't know if it's going to be good quality like this, but let's see. You see, like I'm going to my workshop, I'm in the train. I can still see what is my plan. Okay. If I don't remember how to run a certain activity, like I do, oh, what do I need to do when I need to look at my words job? Like it's here. Of course, you can flip it, can remove it from favorites, etc., etc. So this is the workshop deck app. This is a crazy project that I've been working on. So this is like the big like reveal I was going to say. Like, let me know in the chat if I was right to go with that bet. The good thing is not going to be a SaaS. Like I'm exploring this with you. We're going to improve the app with you. But when I show this to the people from my course, from the different bootcamp I've run and different course, they loved it. So it gave me confidence to go crazy from the prototype unlovable to this product that is almost finished and ready. All right, now maybe we want to know about the price. Shut up. You already took us too much of our time. So let me go to what matters.
Just asking, maybe you tell me if you want to share the link to the app, right? Otherwise, I will shut up.
That's what I'm going to explain now, Said. But thanks for asking. Okay, so I put together the best launch day ever, and I know every people who's trying to tell you that is true. Like I told you, my goal is to have the deck everywhere. So I really wanted to make something special for the launch, and I can promise you this price will never happen again. And I can promise you, and it's not something like being fake urgency. It's really the case. And so introducing the workshop design mastery pack. So you don't get just the cards, you get the course, you get the app. LS, is it? I don't know. But indeed, there is another app. Like, what is the one that everyone is using? Session Lab. You have Session Lab. But again, Session Lab, you go into this chaos of like, there are so many activities, you don't know which one to pick. So I wanted to make it easy, but there are so many different apps for everything. So just take what makes sense for you guys. So basically, you get the cards, you get the course, and you get the access to the app. You get access to the community, and now the price. So again, if I was this like, oh, what people would sell you this, it will be like 3K, but I'm making it for 2K. No, I'm making it for 929. But the launch day is that I'm cutting this price in two. Oh, I messed up. I'm not creating like more suspense, guys. It's just a mess up. I'm selling this for 499 euros. So from today, you can get like this bundle for 499 euros. I don't know how many dollars it is. You get free shipment. And again, guys, I can tell you like free shipment to US, to Australia. Oh my God, it's so expensive. Like I was shocked and I decided to do that before checking those things. Like sending something to Australia, I think it's like 80 bucks, 80 euros. So, but again, I'm not done yet because I like challenges and I love strategy workshops. I created a small deck, which is a strategy power pack. And you have access to the link to the app on my scanning is. And basically you have 11 other activities that you can run from more advanced strategy workshop. I was like, if I put all the activity I use, those cards should be in the deck. And then it's like, oh, there are too much cards and like not everyone is running advanced strategy workshops. So it doesn't make sense. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, I can make another deck and it's a limited edition. So I only printed 100 type of cards. And it's here. And you have basically 8 activities of strategy set exercise and 2 energizers because those one are consuming a lot of brain power. And you get that in the master pack for free between us because I'm sharing too much. I'm sharing way too much. This cost me more money to produce than the real deck. But I really wanted like a cool experience, another thing that you can hold into your hands. And I, of course, I decided a bit too late. So to make everything happen for the launch, like I could only bring 100 decks. Okay, so maybe is it everything we get so far? It's really a crazy deal. No. There is another bonus. And this one, honestly, guys, is the thing I would have paid before when I started my journey. It's like, okay, great, you teach me how to design a workshop. Oh, great, you show me this. But I want to see a real workshop. I want to be there with the room. And obviously I cannot bring all of you in my own workshops. But what I can do is to have a practice session all together where I'm going to share a real workshop that I've run. So you will have a real brief, working on the brief, working with the cards to design this workshop. You're gonna exchange with you guys, like because it's not just gonna be me talking like we did today. It's gonna be you exchanging with others, trying to put a workshop that makes sense with the cards so that you get into the action with the cards. And then I will share with you what was the workshop, what is the workshop I've run, that I, of course, using the cards, what were the results, and also I think something very important, how do I package this to present to the client and make sure I can sell the other workshop? So I will also show you that. I will show you the delivery that I do for the client and what is the tactics I use to sell the next one based on what happened in the first one. And obviously, because there is also the strategy pack, there will be 2 live practice sessions. There will be one that is a workshop that is linked to the first deck. And to be honest, I still need to choose. I would choose based on who are the clients. I will ask in the community, I will propose different options. And then there will be one with the strategy session. And again, we will choose with the people from the community. All right. So I know some people are here just for the cards because you're advanced facilitator. You don't need the app. You don't need the course. You don't want to be in a community with me, man. Like I'll really listen for you for 90 minutes. It's more than enough. So just give me the damn cards. So there will be this option for you guys. So you can just have the mastery pack, which is the best deal with all the bonuses. You can have the mentorship pack, which is everything that is in the mastery pack with some coaching, individual coaching session where we design it together. I can answer any of your questions, that even the ones that are not linked to sales. And then we have the workshop deck alone. But again, because you will be the first one to hold the workshop deck, you will be able to also participate to one of the live events where we're going to practice, and you're going to have access to 2 coaching sessions, because I want that you have everything you need to use those cards to design workshop confidently. So that's why I added those bonuses in the starter pack. So I know it's very confusing. That's why I focused only on the mastery pack. On the landing page, you will have all the information, and you will be able to pick the one that is better for where you are on your journey. Again, I know it's expensive, 149 euros for a set of cards. And the good thing is that when I created this project, I had no idea how much cards cost. The only cards I've drawn was Peep Decks, and it's almost the same price. But like, I wanted to make it free delivery. And when I checked free delivery, I was like, oh my God, I cannot sell under that. I'm like, be transparent. And I'm even thinking, because I already shipped some decks for friends, for gifts, I don't think I will do that again. So after the launch, I think the workshop deck alone will disappear, because my job is to teach people to facilitate workshop, or to facilitate workshop. I don't want to like send packages. So guys, I think I will put in the link everything that you need to take what is best for you. We have time for question. As I said, I'm not leaving this call until I have every question answered. Link to the offer, link to the topic of today, or just link to facilitation general. You can also ask me question about kids. I don't think I've found a way to do it properly, but if you want to discuss that, we can happy to chat. Do I have other other things to tell? Thank you very much, guys. Like the love that you give me, for this project, the support, means a lot. Julien Marcoing, it makes me really smile that you're here. It's an old colleague of mine. We had a great time when he was still there. Okay, guys, let's go for a question. And I think if you have a question, just unmute yourself and just raise your hand, and then you can unmute yourself. I have a post-it. Remind them that they've been amazing. I'm just kidding. You have been amazing. And sorry for the animation. I think I didn't pick the right file, but those things happen.
We have Jana has her hand up. I will just unmute yourself.
Yes, hello, it's Jana. Thank you.
Hey, Jana. I will say properly, Said. Everyone knows it, Jana. Come on.
I think Said is in Germany or somewhere, so it's okay.
Thanks.
I had a question about the deck. I'm in Canada, so physically shipped, how long would it take? And would I still have access to the app?
So if you just buy the deck itself, you won't have access to the app. It's bundled with the mastery pack. How long does it take? I'm not gonna lie, I've Googled this enough. I've put this in the FAQ. So, and this is hard to say, but it's between 10 to 21 days. You will have a tracked shipment, so we'll be able to track it. And this is also why the price is that. Of course, if your shipment is lost, I'm going to send you another one. But I cannot comment on the timing, guys. I'm sorry, this is new to me. This is me and the workshop guy. This is the team so far. And I've been receiving amazing help from Said, from the people that helping me design all those things together. But shipping the packages will be my wife, my kids. It's time for kids labor. They will finally give me things back. And I will send you a picture of how they are playing with the card, because they love it. My son, for French speaking, is like, Dad, je fais un workshop. And then I see he's just destroying the card. So it's funny. Thanks, Jana. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I ship to Canada.
Really, if you ever think of just giving access to the app, let us know too, because no shipping.
Exactly. I don't know, like for those especially running this type of session, value market, like market fit is something very hard to get, right? So this is the first launch. This is like me experimenting a lot. I can tell you, I changed like the price setting when I filmed the video that you see on the website. When I filmed it, it was another, it was another price setup, and it was 3 weeks ago. So I'm constantly changing my mind. But yeah, maybe like as I like now I understand that I won't send the decks alone, excepting the launch. Something that will happen.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you
also
very
to
much.
give you the transparent answer, it was also like I wanted to just give access to the cards, not to the builder, and then it's like access management, headache for you, for me, for everyone. So this is the reason today. But thank you, Jenna. I appreciate the feedback, and I will keep you posted.
Yeah, for sure. It looks really great. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Laya.
And let's give the mic to Tim. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Tim, go ahead.
I pronounce it time, Said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I knew it.
So in a
now
workshop,
that
like you're
everybody knows how to
struggling,
pronounce
Tim.
my name correctly.
In a workshop, you're
You
struggling,
got it
Tim.
right. Maddie, this is awesome. So happy for you. So exciting. And
Thanks, man.
so my question for you, because obviously the app has some overlap with Session Lab, which I'm sure a lot of us use, which is awesome. I'm just curious, what is like similar about Session Lab and what you've got here? What's different? How much money can everybody save by using this instead? No, I love Session Lab. I'm not encouraging canceling
Again,
that
you're
subscription.
talking about like I'm an old school guy. I'm a digital guy. Where designed with digital. I've never used digital session lab. I've used it because like we had a workshop with someone else and we have both our ways, so it's better. But like I'm a guy with writing post-its and having it on a paper. So I've used it because and then I wanted to find some inspiration. So of course, as a good creative, I've looked at the market. I think when you like the onboarding of the app is quite overwhelming in the beginning. You have like different options, you don't have guidance, but what you can do is like basically unlimited. Like you can have your workshop set up like you want. And that's the beauty of a product that has been probably designed by facilitators, meaning like it's like every use cases is possible with Session Lab. In my tool, I think it's gonna be more for beginners or people that are less advanced in the journey. Is like you almost have this, and this was the idea. Like it's almost like the workshop guy is with you, giving you tips. Start where, and like choosing is hard. Like the paradox of choosing like the gem study. Like when you have more gems in a store, you sell less than a store with less gems because it's hard to choose. So if you go, there's 28 activities. You don't need to choose from 28 activities. You need to choose from in the connection from 7 activities, then 6 to 5. So it's easier to pick what you need. So that's, I think the beauty of it is like you have guidance. Oh, you don't know how much time it will take? Do it with the app, put some buffer time. Those activity works. I've been testing them. My team has been testing them. The facilitator after I have been testing them. They work so that you don't need to look into this huge library. And of course, because as I said in the beginning, I always try to test something new. You have the possibility to add a create custom activity so that you can still make it your own. And the most important question is that it's lifetime access, at least for you guys. Imagine it's the next big hit. Session Lab, I'm coming for you guys. Maybe it will become a SaaS. I don't know. This is the beauty of life. But today is lifetime access. And of course, also what I loved about it is that I can update it. So one of the activity, for example, is like the magic lenses. I love that activity from the last book of Jake Knapp. It's a great comment activity. So I was like, I changed my order last minute to integrate this card into my deck. But you see, like with digital, I can give you stuff. And also a question is like in terms of AI, the developer was like, oh, we can make AI propose an agenda for the client for the facilitators. But as I said, the value of designing workshop is preparing for it mentally so that you're ready for the chaos that will happen in the room. And because you've done all that work, it's easier for you to adapt to the situation. Facilitating a workshop that you didn't design, I don't know if it happened to some of you that have co-facilitator, it's hard. It's super hard. I don't like it. If there are people from my team, Love you guys. You know how picky I am. Yes, Sylvia, you can add your own activities because I know, like, okay, you get into the facilitation, you love the app, but oh, my activity is not there. I'm running a very specific branding workshop because Sylvia is doing branding or strategy sessions. Like maybe she has her own activity she can use, she can add on her own, so that she's not limited by the activities that are able in the app. And you can click on the website because you will see it before I do.
We have another hand, Mehdi. Let's give
Yeah,
don't know,
GF.
GF, yes. If you're still there, just unmute.
You're welcome, Robin. Thanks for joining. GF, like,
or maybe it was a mistake too. Okay.
I think is the reaction button next to leave. I need to leave this room. Oh no, I raised my hand. Another question.
If you like, Mehdi, so you can just raise your hands. I have a little queue of questions you can just quickly answer regarding the time if you like. There were multiple questions about will you send out the recording and will you send out like the deck you showed, I mean the slide deck or the presentation? Just yes or no?
Oh, I didn't think about the slides, but you know me, knowing myself, I would say yes.
Okay, people like them.
I'm happy. You will have them in PDF so that you don't have those crappy animation that I didn't fix correctly today. So what about the gifts you mentioned at the beginning? So yeah, the gifts yeah, sorry man, I forgot the main thing. Wow. We just came out for the free gift. Sorry guys. So the free gift is that, so I'm going to go with you. Everyone that has been live, we will see until the end, like not now, but everyone that has been there will be invited to a masterclass on workshop design. So we're going to spend 3 hours together because I told you, like, even it was the promise of today, like teaching you everything I know about workshop design, it's limited with 1 hour. So each one of you will have a full session with me, 3 hours, when I'm basically going to share everything I have. So my framework, my canvas to get the brief, the question I ask, the practice, how I take care about the practice, the preparation in the tiny steps. So even like how you're gonna prepare the room. It's gonna be great. It's a session that I usually charge actually 300 euros when I run it remotely for teams per person. And that's the gift I want to give each one of you. And again, that's my way of contributing, of course, to my mission, but also to you being there with me tonight. I really appreciate it. So I see Delena crying, but I don't know why.
There is still one hand up.
Thanks, Kim. Is there? Yeah, go ahead, Asma.
Okay.
Yes, that's me, and I'm sorry I'm taking my laptop while I'm driving, but just not to miss anything from the.
You're risking your life for me, Asma. It's like it makes me. I don't know how I should feel about that actually. No.
Driving in Morocco, so just wanted.
Yeah, I never dared to drive in Morocco. So.
So congratulations, Mehdi. It was really, really interesting. I have two questions: one about the shipping, and one about maybe customizing or adding your, facilitators' own personal activities and classifying them, whether it's for Connect or for Celebrate. Is it an option to add, your own account, your own activities, and classify them? And I guess in Morocco is complicated. So is Europe a better option? Sorry. And that's it. Thank you again, and congratulations. It's amazing.
Thank you, Asma. I know that you're part from my hometown, Casablanca. So, so when I looked at Africa, when I looked at the countries, because I needed to choose which one to ship, I was like, I cannot do something and not send it to my own country, even if I don't know if people receive the package. So I selected, like, I will ship to Morocco. At least I will try to ship to Morocco. And then, of course, if there is something less, we can discuss maybe an alternative. Like, again, guys, I'm super open. Like, someone reached out, like, I cannot make it to the live, but the entire IEF association in Romania is interested in your deck. Then I was like, maybe we can make a special deal, and then I just need to ship all the boxes to one space. So it's easier for me, it's easier for them. So I'm, again, just know you can, like, if you have a question, there is an email in the FAQ. It will take me time to process those information. So I just ask you to be patient. and I will make everything in my power to make this patients worth your time. And I will double down on the community in the first, of course, months with a lot of different use cases, videos, and stuff like that to make it up. And Asma, yes, you can create custom activities per category. So it's totally possible. And also we are shaping the app together. So there will be a space in the community where I gather feedback to see what would make sense for you. Okay. The good thing, I'm a designer. I'm working with designers every day. So like, and even like designing a product for yourself, it's a bit different. But we will think about if it makes sense for the value prop of the app. Safe, yeah, drive safe, stay alive, not just because I want to send you a deck, but just because life is better when you're alive, I guess. Is there any other question? Let me go into the stream deck.
I will just roughly, because some things were mentioned multiple times. You mentioned like the master classes, and there was the question about the when, and especially regarding the times, because people from the US and India, you know, it may be difficult. Or will there be multiple ones?
So I think I need to look back. It's something I will communicate. In the community, it's already there. I know the time I've picked, but I don't remember. So always trying to like, this is the timing after running a couple of webinars and doing FFF. This is the time that work for a lot of people that I know for India, for Australia. This is a tricky timing. So based on, I will look at the list and I will try to see what makes sense. And if nothing makes sense, I will make another one specific to another time zone. Okay.
Awesome. And regarding the app, I don't know if you already answered, but lifetime access, right? That was how long? Okay. And also, there were some questions regarding how to join the community, and if it's a different one than the FFF community, maybe just to clear the confusion and what is it exactly and how to join it.
So it's a different community, and actually I've been talking with the guys because I wanted to create a space in that community. But it's a dedicated community because it makes it easier to manage, especially since Fit for Facilitation is going to become a paid community. Like you have access to this community because it's part of the deal, and it was easier for me to just share stuff, update of the products, of the activities, running those coaching sessions. So that's why it's a different community. And you also, I mentioned it, like you have access to the community until end of 2026, which means 14 sessions of coaching.